Isn't it interesting when someone is a bad person or just someone that's hard to get along with, and people challenge them or people come at them for something they know what they're going to receive. They know that that person is bad, or they know that that person is not so nice, and they're going to respond in a certain way. They already know what type of response they're going to get for that person, from that person, which is why a lot of the times they don't even, people do their best not to cross that person in the first place because they know they're going to have a big old reaction that's not going to be comfortable for everyone, right? Why? Because it's someone that's either a bad person or someone that doesn't take nonsense from people, basically. So when you have someone like that, oftentimes people around them are very careful not to upset or irritate or get on that person's bad side because they already know it's not going to be easy for them once they create that problem, right? Once they set up that person to react in some sort of way, because that reaction is not going to be nice. It's going to be uncomfortable for everybody. Okay? So people do their best to keep that person happy pretty much at all times. On the flip side, when you have a good person, right? Somebody who is easygoing, loving, forgiving, kind, all of those things. People have no problem walking all over that person, abusing the person, taking advantage of them. Just because they're nice and they're kind and they're all this stuff, right? Because people know that a person's probably not going to react to anything that is being done to them. The person is probably so nice, they're pretty much a doormat, right? So people feel like they can do whatever anyways. But B, even if they were to react, the person is so nice that their reaction is not going to have any significant impact. It's going to be like very mild, and people may not even take it seriously at all, right? So people really don't have any respect for those that are, ironically enough, those that are nice and kind in the world, right? They, if anything, they see you, if they see you as a nice and kind person, if they see you as a nice and kind person, they just see that as a green light to take advantage of you, to walk all over you, to use and abuse you, and then flip it around and say, oh, you are the problem. Okay, and you know you're not going to say anything because you're a nice person, right? Even if you were to say something, it's not going to come across with as much impact as person A, that anything you do to them, you're going to get it. They don't let you get away with anything, which is why people walk on eggshells around them. But when you're so nice and kind and loving, people take you for a doormat. Well, you know what? Enough of that. It's time for good people to rise and take their place in society, right? It's time for good people to stop tolerating nonsense from people and sending this message that you're a doormat and it's okay to walk all over you. It is not okay. And if you even attempt, if you try to cross me, okay, especially when you know I'm nice, right? Especially when you know I'm nice. If you try to cross me, you're going to see a completely different side of me, okay? And you asked for it. You asked for it. So be careful with people, okay? There's evil lurking everywhere you go when you're nice, especially when you're a nice person. There's evil lurking everywhere. There's a target on your back. Just because you're nice, right? Okay? It doesn't matter where you are. At home, You think it's on the street, and yeah, maybe. Often there are circumstances when it is on the street, when there's like that random, crazy person that just, attacks a crowd or something like that. Like that's an extreme case, but in the day-to-day activities, in everyday life, the evil one is in your own circle, in your own community, in your own environment, honestly, right? So we're talking literally your house, right? Check your home. If you're sharing a home with people, is everybody in there for you? Is everybody in there a friend? Okay, you're literally sharing a household with somebody or a group of people. Check them. Don't just assume, hey, don't just assume just because you are in close proximity with a group of people that they automatically have your best interest in mind. In fact, it's usually quite the contrary. Because they have access to you, they usually are the first to have a target on your back and are able to really execute their evil plans against you. So don't be naive, okay? If you're a good person, don't be naive. All right? People for years, decades, generations, people have taken advantage of good people and they continue to do so because you are God, right? So be smart. Be smart, okay? We're talking, they could be at your house, definitely at your place of work, right? Definitely. You don't have, well, work is not like it's not a place for friendship per se. Okay, you just get in, you do what you need to do and be out. But be careful with people in your workplace as well. Be careful with people in the environments that you frequent. Okay? Test them. Check them out. Don't make assumptions that they are automatically good just because you're good. No, and that's the mistake that good people make, right? You project your goodness on other people. Why? Why do you do that? That's ridiculous. Okay? Stop that. Just because you're good doesn't automatically make them good. Wait for people to prove themselves to you. Okay? Stop giving them free passes. Stop giving them free passes. They haven't earned that from you. Okay? They need to come up and prove themselves over and over again until they pass a certain threshold. And even after that, every once in a while, you check them because people change. People change. The person that you least expected to betray you, that's exactly the person that's going to set you up for failure. Okay? That's the person that's had a target on your back for years. You didn't even notice because you gave them a free pass or you let up on them. You haven't checked on them in some time. Okay, you haven't tested them in some time. Do they really care about you? Yeah. Be careful with that, okay? Stop giving people free passes. They need to earn your acceptance in their life, in your life. They need to earn that. They don't automatically, they don't get a free pass into your life. Okay, where do you see that? Where else do you see that? They don't do that. Okay, they don't do that with you. That's for sure. Even as a good person, you still have to prove yourself. Okay? So why would you allow that, them to do that when it comes to what you need? The type of energy that you want to entertain in your own life. That is ridiculous. So let's be smart. Okay? Stop stop letting evil win. And that's the thing with good people. It's like, okay, you're smart, you're kind, loving, etc. But when something happens, when somebody crosses you, you don't stand up against the evil. You don't say anything. You back down. And even if you were to say something, it comes across as like, this is optional. I don't even have to listen to this. No. Put your foot down, okay? Put your foot down and make your message heard. Okay? Because evil people, they only hear you when you match their energy. That's the only time they hear you. But when you're like, hey, so and so, can you please not, do you mind? Um, I've been wondering, could you stop? They don't understand that, okay? When you come off strong and say, hey, I need you to stop doing this, 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 or else. This is the language that they understand. So start using it, get comfortable with it, practice it if you must. But it's really time for the good people in the world to stop taking nonsense from the other side. Okay, they shouldn't be winning all the time, right? You are good, you deserve goodness. Period, end of story.